What the city is talking about, the news that impacts you. Welcome to the Montreal Now podcast with Aaron Rand and Natasha Hall.
Welcome to another edition of The Week That Was here on the iHeartRadio Network. I'm Aaron Rand along with Natasha Hall, and this week we'll take a look at these stories. A Canadian man who felt compelled to do whatever he could to help Ukrainians in their struggle with Russia. So he did, by going there to help feed citizens and soldiers alike. You'll meet Edward COONEY later in the show.
December 1st was World AIDS Day, and there is still a lot of work to do. We talked to someone working with people every day, still dealing with the stigma that surrounds AIDS and HIV. And when the book title can't be said on the radio, it certainly makes for an interesting conversation. This therapist is all about helping us fix our relationships by talking about her own mistakes.
And the NDP's surprising move to support the federal Liberals months ago hinged, among other things, on a promise to introduce a national dental plan for families with children under the age of 12. Well, that pledge was fulfilled this week when Minister Karina Gould made it official. So how does it work and who's covered? We spoke to a member of the Quebec Order of Dentists to find out. Now, I should tell you, this has been talked about. Details were kind of disclosed quite some time ago, right?
Well, wasn't this part of the deal of the coalition?
Yes, between the Libs and the NDP.
Yeah, they said, we'll come on board, but we want dental care.
So dental care is what they got to a point.
Yeah.
The deal that was announced, and we hope to have the minister here to announce this. We're going to wait for her to get on the line. But the basic bottom line is, when this was first leaked, was the fact that if you have a family net household income of lower than $90,000 and you do not have private insurance, you can apply for this dental benefit, and you can get up to $650 per child under the age of 12. So finally they can get that dental work, because dental work is expensive, which seemed like, again, a partial win anyway,
and
right?
that's every year. So every year you would be eligible for that credit.
Now, I called my own dentist. I called Warren Redder earlier in the show during the news break.
I witnessed this.
Right.
Yeah.
And I said, have they told you, has the Order of Dentists sat down and said, here's how this is going to work? Here's how it's going to play out? And he said, no, we know the same as you know, although there are now what he called information sessions that have been planned so dentists can find out how this would work. Well, to that end, we're going to talk to someone who might know a little bit more. Dr. LILIANE MALCEWSKI is member of the board of the Quebec Order of Dentists. She's on the line. Dr. MALCEWSKI, thanks for being here. We appreciate it.
Good evening.
Can you fill any blanks in here with respect to how much you have been told, how much dentists here know about what this plan is going to roll out like?
Absolutely. So this proposed Canadian dental benefit would provide, eligible parents or guardians with direct, upfront, tax-free payments to cover dental expenses for their children under the age of 12. So it would provide payments up to $650 per child per year for families with an adjusted net income under $90,000 per year and who do not have access to private dental coverage.
Okay, so that means if you qualify under this plan, let's say you do, you have to apply for the benefit first. You don't just call a dentist and say, hey, I should fit in, right? You need to actually have to apply for the program.
Well, you definitely have to apply, much like all of the other COVID benefits that you received via the CRA. You have to apply with the Canada Revenue Agency for this benefit if you meet all of the qualifications. And you definitely have to prove that you had out-of-pocket dental expenses, so that you probably should visit your dental office and go see your dentist, get a treatment plan for your child. And once those expenses are incurred, they are going to be, proof that you did access dental care. So the benefit is payable up front, but you do have to keep the proof that you did visit your dental health care provider. Yes.
Okay. And then to your knowledge, will it be as simple as like if you're filing an insurance claim, you go to the website, you enter the information, and then you get the money back? Does it seem like it's going to be that straightforward with the CRA?
Well, it seems to be a very straightforward application. So the $650, again, it's for eligible parents and guardians, direct, it's upfront, and it's tax-free. And it's for children under the age of 12. It covers up to $650 per child. So if your net family income is $90,000 or less, then you do receive this benefit up front. And you just have to obviously prove that you did visit the dental office. And generally, every dental office will issue a detailed receipt. So that shouldn't be a problem.
So it doesn't change anything for dentists. So you continue to function as you've always functioned.
Absolutely. So this dental benefit will not be under the, managing of the dental clinic. It will definitely be between the parent and the government. So every parent and guardian that believes they're eligible for this benefit will have the responsibility to apply for it. No dental clinic will be managing this benefit. It's not like an insurance coverage. It's really a dental benefit that is a punctual benefit if you meet all of these requirements.
Okay, I want to run through a scenario because I'm not sure that I get all this. So let's say you're a parent, you have a child under 12. Let's say you do qualify for this benefit, whatever. Your child has a toothache one day. You go to the dentist. The dentist does what he has to do. It's a filling. It's whatever else it happens to be. The dentist will then hand you a bill, and then you take that bill and you then go ahead and try to apply for the benefit online because you're covered?
Well, depending on which dentist you visit and how they function with their, administration, you may have to pay up front for the service. A lot of dental offices do require that the service is paid for at the time of service. But if you do have the bill in hand and say that your child, and you meet all the requirements, so again, family income, $90,000 or less, child under the age of 12, and you do not have private insurance, you can then apply on the Government of Canada website for the punctual benefit of $650 per child per year. And that's it. The money will be deposited into your account, and the dentist and the dental team do not have to intervene in facilitating anything, except for, of course, providing you with a detailed receipt of the service you were offered and the service that you paid for at the dental office. Yes.
Doctor, there's been talk about this second insurance program for seniors, people with disabilities, and lower incomes. Have you heard anything about when that might be brought into effect?
Absolutely. So this is the second phase of the Canadian dental benefit. It'll target vulnerable populations, so seniors, people who have disabilities, who do not have access to dental care because of financial reasons. It'll be a huge step in the right direction. And I just want to say that it is very encouraging for us at the Order of Dentists of Quebec to see that governments are finally recognizing the importance of dental health as a part of global health, because obviously no family should have to choose between, paying their bills or paying for their child's dental care. And we think this is a tremendous step in the right direction. But for people who are seniors and who are or vulnerable, citizens that have intellectual disabilities, there will be a second phase rolled out. Now, there is no set timeline for the second phase just yet, but we are confident that the government is making strides in working towards extending this Canadian dental benefit to these senior populations and these vulnerable populations, which are obviously in tremendous need of, help when it comes to dental care.
And what about kids over the age, like this is up to the age of 12, right? So 13 and over,
yes.
I mean, kids are still going to need dental care at that age.
Absolutely. So there is also talks of extending the dental benefit all the way up to age 18. And these are just phases of the Canadian dental benefit. So just, the backgrounder that was released by the Department of Finance only targets the specific 12 and under because it's concrete, it's been rolled out. But these other phases and that do target different age categories and obviously targeting the vulnerable populations are going to be rolled out. It's just a matter of time, I believe.
And what about, because here in Quebec right now, it's covered up until what age with our health cards?
That's a great question. So children here in Quebec up until the age of 9 are covered. Well, it's actually, 10 and under, so 9 years old and 364 days, are covered by the Medicare coverage, but not every service is covered. So it's important to understand that La RAMQ, which is the governing body that is issuing this coverage, covers certain acts, which are mostly the examination. So if you have a child under the age of 10 right now and you go to the dental office, the exam will be covered, but the prophylaxis or the cleaning will not be covered. That is an out-of-pocket expense.
Okay.
So there are some things that are covered currently under the provincial Quebec RAMQ coverage, but there are also a lot of things that are not covered. So it's important to ask your dentist which procedures are covered and which are not, but it's essential that if you have a child under the age of 10 and you go to see your dentist, you understand that the examination is covered by the dentist. So please don't, delay your child's dental visit for financial reasons. If you do have a child under the age of 10, the exam by the dentist is currently covered by the provincial healthcare plan.
Awesome.
All right,
You know how I knew that? Because Simone turned 10 last, so we've been paying this year. That's my daughter. Yeah.
First-hand knowledge. Doctor, thank you so much. Appreciate you filling in some blanks for us this afternoon.
You're very welcome, and I hope that everybody can benefit from this wonderful extension to dental care coverage. And, you know, we really believe that this is a step in the right direction, and we applaud the decision by the government to consider dental care as part of, global health care. So we're very encouraged by this.
All right.
Thank you.
Dr. LILIANE MALCEWSKI, member of the board of the Quebec Order of Dentists.
Informative, interactive, and always interesting. This is Montreal Now with Aaron Rand and Natasha Hall.
So we had to proceed with caution when doing this next interview, not because of the subject matter. I think we're all up for improving our relationships and our lives, but because the title of the book has a bad word in it. But hey, sometimes good things can come from bad words and even bad things. Her goal is to help us learn from her mistakes. Well, with a book title like this, and I will be very careful how I pronounce it, you'll see why in a moment. Let's just say we knew instantly we had to talk to the author. Un-F Your Life and Relationships. I'm paraphrasing a little bit there. It's written by ANITA ASTLEY for the best, right? She's in Montreal for the launch of her new book. She has been a couples and family therapist for 25 years. She helps walk people through how to stop jeopardizing relationships and un-F yourself. ANITA ASTLEY joins us now. Hello, ANITA.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me on.
Well, thanks for your time today. So what's your connection to Montreal?
Well, I lived in Montreal, since I was, I think, six years old. And I did grow up listening to Aaron and Tassa Patikaka.
Oh, no. I mean, that's wonderful. Thank you so much, ANITA.
Yes, I did. So I grew up in Montreal. I went to Concordia, then I went to McGill, and then I moved around quite a bit.
And you're still moving around, or where have you settled now?
I am now in Brookfield, Wisconsin, not too far from Chicago.
Okay, well, welcome back home. Welcome back to Montreal. So
I'll be in Montreal next week. Yeah, I'm super excited. It's my most favorite place in the world, so nothing like going home.
Oh, good. So I'm so glad you're coming home. And I'm thinking about coming home for the holidays, and that the fact that the holidays can put a whole lot of strain on relationships, right? And just generally cause a lot of stress and anxiety. So maybe talk to us a little bit about some of the common issues that come up and how do we deal with them?
Holidays is one of those times where people are forced to get together with sometimes people that they don't necessarily want to be with, but it's because we're related to them.
Why are you laughing, Natasha?
Because we have to sit with them from across the table. And we just had Thanksgiving in the U.S., but I know Christmas is coming up, and that involves gifts and all that kind of stuff. But I always start off by telling, if you're hosting the event, then you have to set some expectations for yourself that are realistic, and always ask other people to help out, and also just accept that nothing is going to be perfect. It's going to be a little bit beat up, and that's okay. Take that pressure off of yourself. That's the number one thing you got to do. But also get your family on board. Talk to them about it. It's not, sometimes it falls on one person, and it doesn't have to fall on that one person. Get your family involved. Everybody's going to be eating and drinking and doing and celebrating, so you shouldn't be the only one having to work for it all.
Can you almost form like a little coalition to say, okay, like that uncle is always a jerk. I need some help in managing him. Yeah, you can.
Absolutely. My approach is always to be upfront and direct with my family. And, by now, you probably have hosted or gone to enough events that you know who the fire starters are. So don't place them together unless you want to fire and you want to have that kind of event. And some people do. And, in the U.S., it's all the politics. Don't talk about Biden or Trump. So it's trying to navigate and negotiate what it is that you really want out of the event. And most of us want something that's peaceful and celebratory. Yeah. We don't really want to have a fight.
But don't you risk jeopardizing a relationship, though, if you kind of put that out in front before you even sit down to get together?
No, I think it's setting the rules. I think most people attend these kinds of events and we're friends with them, and sometimes it's Christmas and holidays, it's usually family, and we have enough experience to know. So my rule of thumb is let's set some basic ground rules, and sometimes I encourage people to put it on the invite. Hey, we just had Thanksgiving. We're not going to talk about politics at Christmas because it didn't go too well, and set the ground rules. It's okay to be direct and confrontational because sometimes people try to take multiple paths. I just say take the linear path, be open, be upfront, and set the rules, especially if you're hosting. You don't want that in your house. I wouldn't want it in my house.
I love this. You just said it's okay to be confrontational. I think we've all scored major points there.
Well, and I'm thinking in reality, those would probably be the memories, like the strongest, most memorable holidays that you've had are the ones where things have maybe gotten a little bit crazy. Yeah. Maybe you've been able to resolve it. So does it kind of boil down to just accepting that this is potentially going to happen and just roll with it?
Potentially it's going to happen, but everybody needs to decide whether they're going to engage or disengage. And I always think all year round, I tell people, face your issues, confront them, but during the holidays, when you get into that kind of discussion with somebody at the table or at the party, you got to decide whether you're going to engage or disengage. And there's multiple ways of, if we don't like the conversation the way it's going, we can turn that conversation around by deflecting. And I always tell people, use this phrase, that's very interesting. I think I'm needed in the kitchen, and make your exit, make your escape.
Perfect.
Get away from that conversation, unless you do want to engage. But then, don't make a scene. Nobody likes to have a scene at a party. Are you really going to convince somebody in 1 hour, a couple of hours, what they really think and feel about Biden or Trump? I mean, that's the hot topic here. You're not.
Never going to happen.
So you don't need to change anybody's mind or feelings or thoughts about anything.
By the way, I will point out, that line about, that's very interesting. I just remembered I need to go to the kitchen. Make sure you say kitchen and not bathroom, because they'll see through that. So just as a little tip
I don't know that they will.
I think they might.
And even if they do, isn't that
Doesn't
okay? Because you're like, I've become way less subtle. I literally just say, well, especially because of what we do for a living. I'm like, I talk about that all the time in my job, and you know what? I'm enjoying spending time with you right now. Let's talk about something else. But what
I don't want to talk about it anymore. And you could also deflect with saying, hey, that's a great blouse. Where'd you get it? Something different. Turn the conversation around.
These are good tips.
Sometimes people feel like they're being held hostage in a conversation. Well, you might feel that way, but you do have the power to get out of that conversation. It's just how you navigate and negotiate.
Oh my God, are those new shoes?
I love it.
Deflect.
Anita.
I'm writing all this down. Okay.
I am too. I'm wondering, are we sort of in a more hypersensitive stage or phase right now, like coming out of COVID, and maybe we've lost some of our social skills, or maybe we've just got a heightened sensitivity to some topics? Are you finding that we're maybe a little overreactionary?
Yes. We are, because we have, when we go to events, parties, go to work, we get to rehearse our conversational skills. We get to rehearse how we're going to interact with people, especially the younger generation. I feel, and I have found in my practice since COVID, people have lost the art of communication. They're very good at Zooming. They're very good at texting and using devices to communicate, but there's this discomfort and a heightened sense of anxiety when we're going out to an event now, even though, COVID is kind of over. But it's not really, because I'm seeing the residual effects, especially on young people, on how to reintegrate back into a room where we're not distancing anymore, we're not wearing masks anymore, and how do we rehearse just being ourselves? And for young people, it's identity formation. Part of being in a dialogue in a classroom or wherever you are, they're forming their identity, and part of that is through dialogue and conversation that's verbal and not used through media or texting. That's the most common way young people communicate today, even older people. But we have to get back to having a conversation with somebody face to face, practicing. How do we talk to one another again? It's a challenge.
So I'm curious. So you do couples and family therapy. That's the business, if you will.
Yep.
How much of this comes up in your everyday with couples about this kind of stuff?
It comes up often because, and I see what I really have been seeing, especially since COVID. We are the most connected globally, but we are the least connected with each other on an emotional, intimate level. And for any relationship to be healthy and to work well, long-lasting, we need to be able to emotionally connect with each other. And that's not that usually doesn't happen over texting and using technical devices. Even though I'm all for iPhones and all that kind of stuff, and technology is amazing, it helped us survive COVID and any pandemics that will come, but we still need to get back to the basics of communicating with each other using words, language, being in the same room together. People don't often do that anymore. They're kind of still used to being locked up and re-entering society again with a sense of comfort and confidence.
Well, the book is called Un-F Your Life and Relationships, How Lessons from My Life Can Help You Build Healthy Relationships from the Inside Out. Do you kind of tell a lot of stories about things that have gone wrong and how you fix them in your own life?
Yeah, and that's why I wanted I wanted to write this book because I have been doing therapy for 25 years and asking people in my office to make themselves vulnerable to me. And sometimes, often people say, "Well, how would you relate to this? You look like you got your stuff together." And I think back, I'm like, no, if you had known me like 30 years ago, no way. I was a completely beat person, and I had to do certain things in my life to get to where I am today. So in this book, I highlight some of those experiences, and they're pretty intimate experiences to showcase that, hey, you can have a lot of adversity in your life, and you can turn them around. And then, 25 years later, doing this as a professional therapist, I share those experiences because I want people to know that you can come out of that. Adversity does build resilience. And I also share 7 concrete things that I believe most people need to do in their life and their relationships to get back to the basics of life and love, because we've kind of lost our way. In a world where we're very connected, we are very also disconnected emotionally.
Well, I look forward to reading the book, Anita, and I hope you very much enjoy your time here in Montreal next week.
Are you doing a signing next week, Anita? Where are you going to be?
I'm going to be in St. Lazare where my brother lives, but I will be downtown because I'm going to be doing an interview on CTV, and I also do a podcast. Chris Niles and I collaborate on a podcast together. You guys know him. He played for the Habs, won the Stanley Cup. So I'll be meeting with him and then doing various other media events, and I'll probably go to McGill because it's my alma mater.
Do you have a book signing? An actual specific book signing?
Well, my company's working on it, but you guys want me to come in studio? I'm free.
Maybe come see us next week. We'll work it out.
I want you to explain where you got the idea for the cover of the book, because I'm looking at the picture now, but we can talk about that another time.
Next week.
No, seriously, you guys want to have me on? I'll be in town next week, and I'll be free. And there's actually a big story behind the cover. It's wreckage, right?
Fair enough.
Well, we can talk about it.
You bet. All right, Anita, thank you so much. Best of luck, and then hopefully we can catch up next week.
Thank you, Aaron.
You bet. Anita Astley, the book is called On F, Your Life in Relationships. Anita Astley, Montrealer, writing this book.
Asking questions, looking for answers. Here's more of Montreal Now with Aaron Rand and Natasha Hall.
Edward Cooney is a Montrealer who volunteered for a second time to help in Ukraine, delivering up to 12,000 meals a week to soldiers and civilians in that war-torn area. Now he's working with an organization called Hell's Kitchen, trying to do even more.
So Edward Cooney is a Montrealer who volunteered for a second time in Ukraine, delivering up to 1,200 meals a week to soldiers and civilians in a war-torn area. It's just 35 kilometers from the Russian border. So he's been working with the organization Hell's Kitchen, and they're doing whatever they can to help people get through the winter there. He was also awarded a Medal of Distinction on patriotism to the Ukraine military for his volunteer work. Edward Cooney joins us now. First and foremost, congratulations.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
And so you grew up here in Montreal, but where are you based out of now?
I was born and raised in Little Burgundy, to be honest with you, and I relocated to Edmonton about 10, 12 years ago in Calgary, and that's where I'm based out of right now. Right now I'm just visiting Montreal.
Edward, what compelled you in the first place to begin this kind of volunteer work?
Growing up in Little Burgundy, we had a lot of volunteer mentors, and I sort of took that with me when I moved out west. But the war just moved me to beyond compare. It just blew me away. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, and I knew I could make a difference.
What's your time been like there? Tell us a little bit about that experience.
In the beginning, in April, it was called Hell's Kitchen for a reason. The fighting was still on the outskirts of town. The missile attacks were random and every day, and you're basically, if you weren't cleaning up glass, you were making food or just helping the soldiers in any way, delivering medicine, delivering food, cleaning up after the rocket attacks. Like I said, it was a constant bombardment. It still is. Like, I just left there 3 days ago, and we're still getting bombed. Like, we got no power, we got no water, and it's really bad.
Wow.
I'm wondering, when I hear you describe this, you said you just got home a few days ago. Was the idea for you to spend more time there? Did you have to leave? Why did you come back?
No, Aaron, actually, the first time I went, I was so upset. I didn't have the funds personally. I sold my car, I sold my tools, and I went there. That was from April till June. And then I came back in Edmonton, and a friend of mine was nice enough to hire me on for 2 more months, so I accumulated my second plane fare at that time. And then I managed to get some goods together from Canadian Tire and Home Depot, in which I carried with me. And, so that's basically where I'm at right now. I'm just back in Montreal trying to spread the word that, the Ukrainian people are an intelligent and really loving people, and they don't really deserve this what's happening to them. And it just breaks my heart, and I just need the city to know that we need your help.
I'm fascinated
Incredible.
by how invested you are and how it's so out of the ordinary that someone would do what you're doing and face the kinds of, you could, I hate to say it, Edward, but you could die.
Yeah, in the beginning it was really bad, but I was in no more danger than the person next to me, and believe me, there's nobody there to help them. Like, there was nobody there to help them in Kharkiv. Like, there was nobody there. It was just us in the army, and these people needed to be fed, and a lot of people couldn't afford to leave, and so they're living into the train stations, and yeah, it's just brutal. And like Putin's regime is just terrible to what they've done. Like the Balaklia and Izium, these villages are totally just decimated and destroyed, carpet bombed, literally.
So you want to go back?
Yeah, I'm definitely going back. December 13th, my return plane ticket is December 13th, yes. I got to work a week's worth of work here, so I'm going to save some money. And I was hoping to go visit my grandchildren in Calgary, but it's getting kind of tight.
Can I ask you, and we're both very moved, obviously, by this story and by your commitment, your dedication to want to do whatever you could to go and do this, a great personal risk to yourself. What was a typical day like for you there?
In the beginning, it was the rocket attacks. The sirens would go off, and 3 or 4 minutes later, you could hear the rockets going over your head, or you could literally feel a vibration from the explosions. After that, we'd get a call. We'd go do the cleanup. Mostly volunteers, old women and men, and like myself, a volunteer. Just clean up the debris and the glass. And then other days, we'd be out in the field in the villages trying to repair windows from high-rise buildings and just take care of the old people as best we could.
I think I know we both commend you for doing what you're doing. I wonder how your family feels about you being in harm's way.
They're in the beginning, my first tour, they were kind of upset because I didn't know what I was getting myself into. Believe me, it was a way above and beyond my call. But as I got into it, I realized that these people really need the help, and I could really do something. And I could drive a stick shift. They were so appreciative that I could drive a truck. It's just the small things. And these people at Hell's Kitchen, Luda and Igor Goroshoko, these people went above and beyond. These people are IT technicians and managers and software designers. These people ain't military, and we're feeding 10 to 12,000 people a week, not 10 to 1,200. It's 10 to 12,000 soldiers and civilians a week. We're feeding potato soup. They get bread every day, soup, and it's mostly rice and chicken or chicken and rice.
Wow. Good on you, beyond simply saying that. Now, I understand you have a GoFundMe page, is that right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Stuart Ashton at the McLean's Pub had started a GoFundMe page, in which all of the money just gets me back to Europe and gets grivnars in their pockets. And we're buying canteens now and hot little thermos heaters because the Russians can detect the heat from the heaters that they're using in the front line. So we got to buy these heaters that don't detect heat. So it's an investment, and we need water, and we don't have a vehicle. That's another thing. Our vehicles are falling apart. We need a mechanic to fix the vehicles and get the water to these people. They have to decide: do I wash my kid, or do I feed, or do I cook with it? It's unbearable. The world we live in. These people are a democracy. They just want to live in peace. They just want to make their own mistakes. And I just can't say enough about these people. And it just breaks my heart that not enough is getting done. But I'll tell you another thing. The people of Canada are well respected and well loved. They have nothing kind things to say about us, and I can't go on about how much they really appreciate us. Edward,
we're out of time. I want people who are maybe as moved as we are by hearing your story. How do they help you? Where do they go? What do they do? Real quick.
It's Hell's Kitchen, Kharkiv, Ukraine, under Igor Goroshoko. Or you could just go to Stuart McLean at Stuart Ashton at McLean's Pub.
Okay.
He's the proud owner of McLean's Pub, and he's got a GoFundMe page going for me. I'm on the street now. I'm standing outside the Ukrainian church waiting for somebody to answer the door because I was speaking too fast on the phone, and I think I lost their interest.
Oh, off you go.
Okay, we'll let you go.
Off you go. So we'll invite people. You can text in, and we'll send you that link. You can also go to GoFundMe.com and just put in Hell's Kitchen or Help Edward, and his page pops up. Keep up the great work.
Stay safe, Edward. Thank you so much.
Thank you. God bless you guys, and happy holidays.
The stories in the news that are worth your time. Montreal Now with Aaron Rand and Natasha Hall.
We may have made massive progress when it comes to treating AIDS and HIV, but while the fear has diminished, the stigma has not. Our guest works in prevention and awareness, and he suggests that maybe a little fear would be a good thing, since HIV is still very much present, and we've gotten a little too nonchalant about AIDS. Here in Montreal, the organization CACTUS has been on the forefront for 30 years, providing support, working to help prevent sexually transmitted and bloodborne infections. Jean-François Marie is executive director at CACTUS and joins us now. Thank you for your time today, Jean-François.
Hello.
So I think what I want to ask you first and foremost is how far have we come? Because when we first started hearing about AIDS and talking about AIDS in the 80s, it was a crisis situation. That is no longer the case, right? We've made a lot of progress, but it's still around. We're still dealing with this, but just not talking about it as much, it seems.
Well, actually, the difference between when CACTUS was born, because, the World AIDS Day is 34 years this year and CACTUS is 33. So we are born just a couple of months after the first World AIDS Day. And what has changed is actually that we don't have piles of body of people dying of AIDS now. The treatments have made a major leap forward. And if the treatments have made this leap forward, it's because of all the activists and actually people who had HIV and who are dying of AIDS in the 80s that managed to fight for their rights as patients and as people infected with HIV to have treatments. And it changed totally the pharmaceutical world by involving people with living experience. And that changed a lot. Of course, pharmaceutical industry made major profits going through this therapy, but it worked. So now most people would have access to a treatment and would get undetectable and therefore untransmissible. But there is still lots of angles that we don't cover. If we look at the people that CACTUS is joining the most, people who use drugs by injection, about 18% of them have HIV now in 2022.
Wow.
So AIDS is not something of the past for us. And if we look at specific population, like trans people, population we specifically work with, the rates are even higher. We say about 25%. And half of those people don't even know they have HIV because there's still issues getting testing. Basic STD testing is not so easy in Quebec right now, and there is not much focus on that. And if we look at the younger generation, especially the younger gay generation, they are not sensitized the way we were seeing people dying. And they never seen the people dying, but there's been a gap in prevention that the government has never taken up. And so new infections is not uncommon. It's very frequent now in this population. So people who use drugs, young people who have sex with men, trans people, people who come from immigration with high rates of HIV, and there is still a lot to do. And so for the general population, of course, AIDS is not so much a focus because we don't have piles of body from AIDS. We have piles of body from overdose right now. But it's still a major issue and an issue that our government, both the federal and the provincial government, is not focusing on enough. If we look at the Canadian response internationally, the financial aid is decreasing year after year. If you look at the financial support to HIV organizations in Canada, the support from the federal government is decreasing year after year, and the same goes from the support from provincial government. And there is still, with 18%, we are still in a pandemic.
Can I,
in our population, we are still living a pandemic of HIV.
As I hear you describe this and you talk about federal aid and provincial aid, why do you think that has gone down, that support has gone down?
That support has gone down because the public focus has gone down. And as far as the public focus goes, they're not going to put money in something that doesn't bring them votes.
What's interesting to me, so the Prime Minister issued a statement today on World AIDS Day, and he said, we join people living with HIV and AIDS in Canada around the world to remember the lives lost to this epidemic, show our unwavering support to reaching our global goals of 0 new HIV infections, 0 AIDS-related deaths, 0 discrimination. But it's interesting to me that it seems like he's talking about it as something in the past, right? We're remembering, and okay, it's good to take pause and remember in the past, but we still we have work to do. How do you feel about his statement today? Do you feel like it's not enough in the moment?
Oh, it's definitely not enough, and the federal government has a lot of power to do better. If we look at two specific populations that the government could put solutions forward right now, and policy solutions, it's people who use drugs and people who do sex work. Both of them, their living has been illegal. Being a drug user is illegal in Canada. Being a sex worker is practically illegal in Canada. And the government never made it legal to do sex work or to use drugs. And by making it illegal, you're putting people in the margin and stigmatizing them. And by doing so, all those people still have higher rate of HIV than the general population because they are highly stigmatized. And the government has the power in terms of policy to change those things. And at every occasion they got, they never did it. If you look at drug users, recently they just passed the law C5. And this law is not going far enough. Not going far enough for overdoses, but not going far enough to end stigma around drug use. And as long as those stigma are going to prevail and those populations are going to be kept in poverty, well, they're going to have major rates of HIV in those populations.
So you would like to see drug use and sex work decriminalized. I just want to ask about the stigma. I mean, definitely the stigma still persists, but it was interesting what you said to me about the fact that this generation didn't live through the horrors of the 80s and watching people die from AIDS, and so the fear isn't there. Do we almost need to bring a bit of fear back into it, Jean-François?
No, we need to address the policy issues so that those kids don't get HIV. Because if they get HIV, it's because of the policies that have not been changed from all those years. If you look at the beginning of the AIDS activism, ACT UP, we could almost bring back the full ACT UP manifesto. Just a couple of issues have been dealt with. The pharmaceuticals issues have been dealt with, actually. But all these social issues have been left to rot for 34 years.
How frustrating.
Nothing has been done on this front. And just take out ACT UP manifesto from the AIDS conference in Montreal 32 years ago. Mm-hmm. And when we walked it back for the AIDS conference this year, we kept it almost intact. The only thing that we left out is the pharmaceutical aspect of it.
So before we run out of time, because I've just got a minute left here, Jean-François, I want to make sure we mention that there is a vigil and a fundraising event that are being held today. Cactus is going to be participating in both of those.
Yeah, there is a fundraising event run by Aztec, our specific Buy In for Trans project, at Café Cléopâtre at 8 p.m. But before that, from 5 p.m. at Place de l'Espoir in Sainte-Catherine in the village in Montreal, there is the annual vigil, which has been going on for 34 years.
Okay.
On this World AIDS Day.
On this World AIDS Day.
Thank you so much.
It's very sobering.
It is sobering.
Keep up the great work that you do at Cactus, please.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay.
Jean-François Marie, Executive Director at Cactus.
Informative, interactive, and always interesting. This is Montreal Now with Aaron Rand and Natasha Hall.
One cool thing for today, our producer Brian Calasar. Brian?
Are you guys fans of Hot Pockets?
Are we talking about, listen, what are we talking about? The things to warm your hands up or the pizza things you eat?
Pizza things you eat. Like Hot Pockets or like those pizza pops. Or they have those Stouffer's ones.
God, no.
Are you guys, you're not fans of them?
No.
I was years ago.
No, you
weren't. Yeah, I was.
Well, remember how Aaron said that he was going to get you some scissors for Christmas?
Yeah.
Natasha, please pay close attention. Most Hot Pockets are consumed within walking distance of the microwave, but now you could possibly see somebody walking down the street eating a Hot Pocket because Hot Pockets and an apparel company have created a pair of cargo shorts with insulated pockets. So there's literally a Hot Pocket, and it's specifically for transporting your Hot Pocket. At first glance, they're normal beige cargo shorts, but they have a cargo pocket on one thigh labeled Hot with the message, insert sandwich here.
No.
The pocket on the other side is labeled Cold. The front also has a graphic of a devil that says stay heated. The limited edition shorts will go on sale on December the 12th and will be available in sizes small through extra large on the Hot Pockets online shop. There's no word on a price yet, but the shorts will come with one coupon redeemable, you guys guessed it, for Hot Pockets.
I think that's such a great idea.
Are they hideous? You saw them?
No, they're cargo. They're honestly beige cargo shorts with an insulated pocket.
Are you getting these, Brian?
I actually think it's a cool idea.
So do I.
I think it's a cool idea for people who are on the go too. Like, if you warm up like a sandwich before you leave, like a bagel or something, just put it in.
Put it in your pants.
Why don't you put it in your mouth?
No, but if you're on the go,
it's to go.
Yeah.
Natasha. It's not eating.
Like
it's
imagine,
takeout.
yeah, imagine if you're leaving work and it's a really cold day and you have like one of your ramen noodle soups that you were eating earlier.
Yeah, don't
before
put
the show.
soup in your pocket.
No, but you could like possibly put something in your pocket to keep it warm.
Brian, if you will, and I agree with you. I think this is actually pretty neat.
You
But I
guys.
might wait for the next generation of this that has one hot pocket and one cold pocket.
Okay.
It does. I
That
thought
way.
it does.
No, it's just like one is labeled hot and the other
other
you know
is
which
normal.
is yeah.
Oh.
But I like
But if
that.
you had a cold one, right, that a popsicle or ice cream,
Yeah.
you could leave that in there, whatever. I mean, that's the way to go.
I mean, it's so inconvenient to not be able to walk around
Yes.
with a popsicle in your pocket.
Okay,
or
perhaps
an ice
popsicle
cream
was a bad
sandwich.
choice.
Ice cream sandwich.
Oh, sure.
There,
yeah,
thank
for
you.
sure.
Go.
Yeah.
Hot pocket, cold pocket,
How-
the perfect cargo shorts. Are you kidding me?
Just
what
I
eat,
am so in.
eat the hot pocket, guys. Just you don't need to put the hot pocket in a hot pocket.
Is this
Just
product
eat.
available now, Brian?
Yeah,
or is this
no,
a-
it's on December the 12th. And hit up the Hot Pockets online shop. Just Google Hot Pockets.
No thanks.
Okay. Love this idea.
I'm not eating a hot pocket, and I'm not wearing one
Imagine
either.
you have pizza, you buy a couple of slices or something, you finish
Yes.
one, you're out there, what do you do with the other one? You pop it in your pocket, it stays warm.
Aaron keeps bringing the
on.
ideas. I like it.
This is great. That wraps up another edition of The Week That Was here on the iHeartRadio Network. I'm Aaron Rand along with Natasha Hall, and we will see you next week.
Have a fantastic week.
This has been the Montreal Now podcast with Aaron Rand and Natasha Hall. Listen live on your radio weekday afternoons from 2 to 6 on CJAD 800 or through the iHeartRadio app.